This is the stuff that nightmares are made of. No, not that big hammer. That big pile of rust there. And that piece we just finished cutting out. And that all came out of this little area right here. Today at Envision Prototypes, we're doing something a little bit different. If you had money in 1962, you own one of these cars. This thing's got power everything. When I drove this car in, do you actually see how long this thing was? It's 18.5 feet. It's huge. And the trunk, you can fit about 10 bodies in there. I'll show you in a second. Not the bodies, but the trunk. Now, if you've been following our YouTube channel or just subscribed, you've seen that we do a lot of metal shaping for custom cars and scratch-built cars, such as the 1944 Cooper building. But we also do restorations on old classics such as this. And we haven't really covered that on our channel, but if you want to see more of it, let us know. Now, in regard to this caddy, this car is in surprisingly great shape, especially coming from the East Coast. You'd think it'd be a lot more rot in it, but just a few areas around the bottom of the doors and the rear rockers that we have to address. The front fender is a little thing going on over there. Now, the green tape lines indicate the less obvious things we have to address, and the more obvious areas, well, you'll see what we have to work with, or don't have to work with. And we have to create some new panel sections and get them installed. This was the epitome of American luxury back then. Things have changed a little bit, but this is still a really nice car. So let's go around the car and see what's going on. Well, you can see down here, kind of a hole poking through. Though at that section, we'll have to grind it back. Somebody's painted over top of it to kind of cover it up. We're gonna open all that up, see what's going on. That chrome strip will have to come off. It's when we come down into here that we have some nice holes going on in the bottom. I can stick my hand up inside there. And if we come around the other side, if I can get this camera aimed up here. There you go. You can see right up into the trunk there, and you can see that we've had some company that we're gonna have to evict from the car. Get that out of there. It's a mouse nest. So in order for us to get this work done properly, this massive rear bumper is gonna have to come off. The trunklet release here. Now, overall, the trunk doesn't look too bad inside. Pull this matting back. A lot of moisture in here, so the seal is probably leaking at some time, and that's what caused the water to get down into there and rot all that out. So probably the same thing on the other side. See how big that trunk is. It just goes all the way up into the front there. So you probably put 2 bodies there, 5 here, and never mind. So there's some collection of stuff in the trough. This rubber sheet is going to have to come out, and we'll have to take care of all that in there. Around the rear window, the chrome has been painted over, and this rust through here has to be addressed. Now the wheel arches aren't too bad. We have the fender skirts, they're in the trunk, but it's those rear lowers that have to be fixed. And you can see that's how somebody fixed it the first time. Just put Bondo in there, and all that stuff is just falling out. The bottoms of the doors on this side aren't bad. A little bit of rust here, so we have to get the chrome off, open that all, expose it all. It's like going to the dentist. You know, you don't want a cavity filled in with a filling with the cavity still in the bottom. We have to cut that cavity right out, drill it out, clean it out. In this case here, we have to open areas like that up and see what's going on there and just clean it up. This front fender here, some bubbling going on. Okay, just opened up. So moisture got in from some point at some time and just came in from the inside out and popped that out. The hood here, again, yeah, take care of that hole. And for those of you who are interested in seeing what moves this beast, there she is right there. Now, I'm not quite sure the specs on this engine. She's a Cadillac. But the engine has to be gone over. It has a little bit of trouble running, probably the carb. Needs new plugs, you know, just going over. But compared to today's cars, you have a lot of room in this thing. Anywhere there's a fastener, that's more than likely what caused that. We have a fastener coming up from the inside to hold this trim piece on the car, and that's what started that rust. The rest of the hood is solid, like there's no waves, nothing going on there. Coming down in here, this driver's side door is toast. It's really crunchy, so we're gonna have to take care of all that, cut it out, and it looks like somebody ran over a curb. Told you this car is huge, so that's all got to be fixed. And this wheel well here, it's done for. So we'll have to fabricate a whole new section to get that fixed up. Let's jump inside here. Whew. Some moisture in this car. But it's funny, they all smell like this. You know, you guys don't have smell-o-vision, but you open up any car that from this vintage era, and they all smell just about the same. Some might have more mouse scent to them, but overall, they're about the same. It's probably the fabric or upholstery they used at the time. But just a classic feel, elegant feel. You step in here, and it sounds so, just the acoustics are so amazing. That back seat there, got tons of space. Have a party back there. Without the hot tub. And these couches, they are so comfortable. So anyway, I always enjoy taking in these classics. Now they're more of an appliance, these cars of today, but that's just my opinion. Kind of get you where you need to go. But here, you just jump in and cruise and just enjoy the ride. Come back to the trunk here. We have that rust right in here, has to be taken care of. Now this whole lip across the bottom is kind of bubbling up, so we might have to fabricate a whole new piece right through here. Okay guys, so I'm gonna get started on the back of this car, start stripping the chrome off, and just start exposing all the areas that are affected. So we got the car up in the air and had the jack stands under the axle, of course, and the jack here just as a double precaution, and working on the back bumper bolts. We're left with these last 3 bolts on this side. That one over there is loose, and we're going to take and just back these off. Probably leave a bolt on each side, just finger tight. And we don't want this thing to fall down. In order to fix the body panels properly, this all has to come out because you can't be sneaking around and kind of haphazardly joining up panels. We need full access to everything. Now here I just used some manual ratchet work. Let me get the impact on the other ones. Bag and tag all this stuff. Okay, let's make some noise. Okay, that was loose. This is the fun part of restoring cars. You have to take apart the bolts that probably haven't been undone since 1962. So a little bit of lube, a little bit of whatever, and they come off, hopefully. Let's set this max guy for max power. Now, you gotta lift with your back and not your knees. Yep. You good there? Yep. Swing this guy around. And we're gonna rest it on those crates over there. All right, that's almost the weight of an engine block. Now we can get to all these areas in here And it's not looking too bad. The inner structure looks pretty good. We gotta address these corners in here. Start taking care of that. There's a fastener for the chrome right up in there. I gotta pull that out. And look at this. This is their solution. A lot of people's solution. You get your metal and you got your Bondo. They just went right over top. And the canister is still inside. Just imagine your tooth if the dentist left all that stuff inside. So it wouldn't be too pleasant for you. You can see all that structural stuff in there. That's nice. That's in good shape. So our job is going to be to take and repair all this here. You got a better view now. And there we go. Some more stuff down there. This stuff here, we're not going to take and cut this out just yet. We're going to make some patterns of this area. A lot of guys get excited, and nothing wrong with that, but they'll get excited and take and cut all this out. And then you have nothing to go by. Here we'll create profiles, profile templates, one here, as well as a full length pattern. We'll take and make the pieces up, and then we'll cut all this stuff out, get rid of it all, and replace the inner section there, prime it all, and work our way out and finalize the outer quarters. All right, so I got the back rear quarter panel all opened up here, just to expose what we're dealing with. And as you can see, that whole inner structure up and through there needs to be replaced. So we'll make up new pieces for that. That piece there has to be redone. But before we get into that, let me show you what came out of there. Now, this piece sat up on top just like that there. And what this is just a big coat of Bondo over top of the metal. It wasn't too bad there, but by the time we got into the end here, it's about 3/16, just under 3/16 thick there. And that just fell out. So what they did was just a quick shoe shine. Just covered up the rust with some Bondo, threw some paint on it, threw some undercoating inside. And what that undercoating did, that would just trap moisture. See, it's separating. So that caused all that to kind of just rot away. So before I took and cut this out, took and fabricated a whole new section. So this piece, let's see if I can get up in here. This piece has to fit up in there, but let's see here. There you go. Kind of awkward. But before we get into all that, looking at the end here, and somebody's done some more patchwork. You can see the seam there, and couldn't quite tell here, but these little spots kind of gave it away, and you can hear the motion. Now watch this. I took and ran the zip blade up around the perimeter. Now, as I open this up, look at that stuff just falling out of there. Look at that. So all that cancer just eating away. So we're going to have to take and replace all that in through there. The upper quarters don't look too bad. Took and stripped the paint off without grinding any metal, just to expose the good areas. Have a little dent here. We'll work that out. So now we can get in from the inside. As soon as I take and open this up and see what we're dealing with, I'll take and fabricate new sections for the bottoms here and get those fitted into place. Take and cut all that out and weld new pieces in. And then once all that is structured here from the underside, then I'll take and fabricate a whole new corner, get that in. So if I took everything and just cut it all out, I have nothing to go by. All the reference points would be gone. But all this is good metal, so we'll blend right into this. That's fine. Once this lower section's in, we'll make a new piece for there. And this here, well, let's see what happens when we open it up. Wiggle, wiggle. There we go. Look at that. So, good thing I wasn't underneath there. Let's pop that open. And I'm just going to show you guys what was hidden underneath all this wonderful patchwork here. You couldn't tell because the metal looked really good. A couple little spots up in here, and well, that's what gave it away right there. And this little seam, but that almost looked factory the way it was finished. Almost. You do this long enough, you get to recognize things like that. There we go. So, there. They just welded in over top, plugged it up, cheesed it up, called it a day. We don't do that around here. That all has to come out and get replaced with fresh metal. And I'm guessing the front was done the very same way through here. Again, we have quite a lamination going on there, and that extends into the cab area. You can see the Bondo right there. And then up underneath the rocker, wish I had this up on the lift next door, but Well, we can work with this here. See, that's all hollow in there. So we have to see how far that extends into the front there. The bottoms of these doors are pretty much toast. You can see the rot through there. So we'll be taking and opening up all this eventually. All right, so I'm gonna get back to it and keep opening this up and seeing what else we have to deal with. As you can see, I kept this original flange here. This will be replaced after because there is a hole right, you see the daylight right there. So again, we have to change all that out. All fresh. There's a hole I can stick my finger, hey, hello, right there. So again, take care of all that. As we've been working on this Cadillac, installing these lower rear quarter sections back here and stripping the interior out, we had a bit of a surprise. See that pile way in over there? That's what fell out from the floor. Now I'm gonna send you in on the creeper cam, patent pending. Okay, ready guys? Here we go. So going into the belly of the beast. Oh, our jack stands are in the way. That's usually what happens. Creeper catches on this and that, gets caught on a pebble, and then you fight with it back and forth. Oh, just about there. Your head's gonna come awfully close to the floor, so keep it down, be careful. Don't want to bump yourself. Now, swing over to the other side, take another look. Oh, you can see on the passenger side there, we have to take and address all that rust. Those are some of the challenges of restoring a classic car. It's not all rainbows and peaches every day. She looked good from the top side, but as soon as we started pulling that matting up, that's what fell out. Thanks very much for watching, and see you guys next time.